I'm not. It's not just It's not terrifying. It's just like It's what's words? Well, let me load the game. Nope. I have to restart from the beginning again because we couldn't save the game from where we were. Oops. But it can be a very anger-inducing game. It's fun, but it's scary. Let me readjust myself. There we go. I like when I ask my model reset and it makes my titties jiggle really bad. Okay. Anyways, we're trying again with this game. Hopefully everything seems a lot more stable now. We're trying again. It was spring when Sarah's school life began, but spring in London was nothing like any spring she had known before. The morning sun was not enough to lift the chill from the stony streets, and the mist off the river blended with the smoke of countless chimneys to form a thick yellow fog. Hold on, did I... Where's my sound mixer? There we go. I would like OBS to... Okay. All the settings are there now. Because last time, our alerts weren't working good. Oh god! Oh no! No, no, no! Oh. I didn't mean to skip all that. Can I go back? Oh, I can. Oh, good. I mean, we have the footage, I think. I don't know where we got lost. Nope. I straight up do not know where we got lost with the game. But we're just gonna try and come back to it. In such weather, the gas lamps burned night and day, flickering like stars to guide the horse-drawn ships to their destinations. But the ship that carried her across the ocean was now a thing of the past. Here, then, was Sarah's new home. It was a big, dull brick house, exactly like all the others in its row, except that on the front door there shone a black brass plate which was engraved in black letters. Miss Minchin's Select Seminary for Young Ladies. Girls, gather round, if you please. Come, hurry up. We have a new pupil who'll be joining us starting today. Her name is Sarah Crew, and she has only recently arrived in England. Not New England, that is a different state? Country? I don't know, so you must all make her feel welcome. How do you do? The room filled with a chorus of gently murmured greetings. Sarah Crew, for that was her name, looked out upon a garden of strangers. Every face was turned to her, polite and attentive and perfectly foreign. She felt more lost than she had ever been at sea. Sarah, dear, as you can see, we have pupils here of all levels, but these three are particularly near your age. This is Miss Lavina Herbert. Charmed. Miss Ermengarde St. John. Ah. And Miss Jessie Abbott. We're very pleased to meet you. I'm very pleased to meet you as well. I've never known very many girls near my age. Nor any other age. Sarah's life before that point had been not isolated but sheltered. Her mother had died when she was born, leaving Sarah to be raised by the young, handsome father who was the only relation she had ever known. Wait, where'd the teacher look like that? Can we romance the teacher? How old are we? Not Sarah, but just me. Just me. But Sarah and Papa had been always quite close, reading books and playing games together every day. He treated her as a little confidant, sharing his thoughts with her as if she were his peer and not a very young girl, and listened solemnly to the advice she gave in return, although he didn't always follow it. Sarah had never felt lonely, but it must be said that she had very little experience in making new friends. Sarah's father, Captain Crew, makes his home in India, and he is returning there as we speak. I shall expect you all to be very agreeable to her. Now, Sarah, take your seat. Your father has informed me how very much you enjoy your studies, and I expect you to be a credit to this establishment. I am not certain how to become a credit, but I do wish to learn. This statement was met with muffled giggles. Confused, Sarah looked back at Miss Minchin for guidance. Take your seat, I said. Which seat is mine? Concerned that she would look disobedient if she hesitated further, she slid into the nearest empty place. No one objected, and she let out a sigh of relief. Nearby, two girls turned to whisper to each other. What a way she has of speaking! So old-fashioned! Hush! And her eyes are such a queer color. A funny-looking child, to be sure. Well, she isn't pretty as other pretty people are, but there is something about her. She makes you want to look at her again, to see what it is. And she has tremendously long eyelashes. Only you would notice such a thing. Girls, kindly pay attention to your lessons. Yes, Miss Minchin. Okay, now here's the lesson part, which is where we got cut off, I believe, last time. So, we can gain knowledge, artistry, patience, sympathy, grace, belief, and vigor. And so we can do different things each day. What if I want to... Okay, there's only one thing I can do per day. I'm maxing out knowledge first. Done? Okay, now the schedule you've set will be carried out. For each weekday, Sarah will point to the randomly chosen result, and those icons will appear on the right side of the screen. You do not have to advance between days. Will happen automatically. You can adjust the seat of activities from the preferences menu. Remember, icons are only converted to resources at the end of the week. A result of double your current knowledge icons, but not your long-term knowledge resources. Reading. 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 Thank you so much for reading Queen Kyo, and I really appreciate it. Hey mods, can you do a shout out, please? Thank you. Welcome in. How is your stream, Queen Kyo? And also, hello, Raiders. My name is Iris. I'm a non-binary autistic VTuber. My pronouns are they, them. And we are currently playing a Little Dilly Princess, which is a game I received from Hoovit. And we're playing it because I've tried playing it yesterday, but it didn't want to work out, but it's fine. Right and all. We now have 7 knowledge and +3 artistry. Fuck yeah. My room. My 2 rooms just for me. Sarah was what was known as a parlor boarder, where other girls were quartered in standard issue single rooms. She had a large bedroom, uniquely decorated, and a separate sitting room with a comfortable sofa. Oh, her living quarters is different? Okay. My papa has filled them with beautiful things. Books, velvet cushions, lace dresses, a porcelain tea set, hats with great feathers that bob on them, even a tiger rug to remind me of India. It looks like a room that would belong to the daughter of a Raja, an Indian princess. I only wish that this room also contained my papa. Perhaps it does. He gave me all these things, and whenever I touch them, I can imagine that he is with me. And when I read his farewell letter, I can hear his voice. Do I have to read it in the dude voice? In a British accent?
My dear little missus.
Thank you, Frack. I'm just gonna read my normal voice. So here you are, in the place you always knew you must go. But be of good cheer. You'll not have to stay for a very long time. There'll be lots of little girls, and you'll play together, and I will send you plenty of books, and you'll grow so fast it will seem scarcely even a year before you're big enough and clever enough to come back and take care of Papa. I'm not in the least anxious about your education. You are always sitting with your little nose burrowing into books, gobbling them up as if you were a little wolf instead of a little girl. Oh, I can save using the plus button. Okay, I'm saving it here at least. I've instructed Miss Minchin to drag you away from your books when you read too much and make sure you go ride your pony in the row or buy a new doll. You ought to play more of dolls. Oh, Papa! If I bought a new doll every day, I should have too many to be able to make friends with them all. I'm happiest with just Emily, and happier because I was with you when I met her. Emily, of course, was the name of a doll, a very special doll that Sarah had discovered when Papa had took her to visit the premier toy shops of London. She was a large doll, but not too large to carry about easily. She had naturally curling golden brown hair which hung like a mantle about her, and her eyes were a deep clear gray blue with soft thick eyelashes which were real eyelashes and not mere painted lines. At Sarah's insistence, she had been given a wardrobe every bit as grand as Sarah's own, with frocks and coats and nightgowns and beautiful lace-trimmed underthings. She even had her own tiny lady's handkerchief and her own cradle bed at the foot of Sarah's. Oh, she's pretty. Sarah lifted Emily up onto her lap and smiled at her, just as she would another little girl. My papa is on the sea now, Emily. We must be very great friends to each other, intimate friends, and tell each other things. Look at me, Emily. You have the nicest eyes I ever saw, but I wish she could speak. She brushed Emily's hair fondly, settling her in her pride place. There's so many girls in the school. I've never seen so many children in one place before. I'm afraid I shall not even remember all their names. I've always known that someday I would be required to go away, to leave my home and my papa and come to England to be educated. I must do my duty, even if I do not like it. I dare say soldiers, even brave ones, don't really like going into battle, but they must do it anyway. It crashed for a second, sorry? Stream did? Or did... I got so spooked there. I just got scared by the sound. I'm not sure if it was just my computer or what. Everything's fine on my end, I think. Do you want me to redeem it again? I got spooked. I did a little Do you want sploosh. Hopefully that one is okay. I just got scared because I was reading the dialogue. It crashed for a second right after you jumped? Like the entire stream? Or... Huh. Oh no, it made me reload it though. Oh, that's so weird. Was red. Oh, that's so weird. Everything's working on my end. That's so weird. Okay, yeah, Twitch says bitrate is still okay. Okay. I think we're still good. Did it happen for me? The stream? It's fine for me as well. Okay. It might have just been you. I'm so sorry, though. But they must do it anyway, and not cry and fuss. So must I, but oh, it is so lonely. Is chat showing up alright on the screen? On the thing? She could not know, of course, how her quiet sorrow might be misinterpreted by others. Miss Minchin, the proprietor, had seen the lavish preparations for Sarah's pretty little room, and concluded that here was a child who had always been given her own way at the expense of others. Such a spoiled little girl might be expected to kick and scream and set the whole house into an uproar when abandoned by her only parent. That she did not suggested to mention that Sarah cared nothing at all for her papa, but only for her dresses and toys. Such was not a thought that inspired sympathy in her heart for the newcomer. Just then, there came a sound at the door of Sarah's room. Sarah was not a girl easily given to fear or startlement, but she had a healthy share of curiosity and went at once to see what it was. Oh. Outside sat a little girl, right on her bottom in the middle of the hall, her baby plump legs splayed and the lace of her petticoats askew as if she had just toppled over, which in fact she had. "Hello there. Who might you be?" "Lottie." Her words were hard to make out through the fingers she had shoved into her mouth. "Lottie?" The fingers were withdrawn and wiped dry among the frills of her skirt. "Lottie Lay?" Sarah smiled. Here, then, was a chance to meet just one person at a time instead of a crowd of strangers. "Well then, I am Sarah Crew, and now we are properly introduced." She held out a hand and helped the little girl to her feet. "Was there something you wanted?" May I look at your doll?" "Of course you may. Come visit me in my room and we can have tea together. My papa left me a beautiful tea set with lilies painted on it." Why is my audio glitching? "Emily has her own service as well, sized for her hand because she is too small to hold one of my cups." "I want to see." "Come inside then, and I'll introduce you to Emily." Emily is the name of my first ever American Girl doll that I got, actually. She's literally the one that I forget what year she was released. Between 1990s and early 2000s, but she's the one that's from England. And she's like a companion to Molly. And that was Sarah's first week of classes at Miss Minchin's Select Seminary for Young Ladies. On the weekends, you can spend the resources you have collected in order to unlock scenes with different characters. The requirement for each event will be listed in the box next to that character. If an event requires 5 belief, you must have at least 5 belief on the left-hand side of the screen in order to select play event. Playing that event will lower your current belief by 5. Some scenes will not be available until later in the story, others can only be played early in the game. Pay attention to all the requirements. It is best to focus your attention on only 2 or 3 characters in order to have time to play all their scenes. So we have Jessie, we have Lottie, we have Lavinia. Not yet available, not yet available, not yet available. So I guess we can play an event with Jessie? Which one is the selecting? I hope I didn't select... Oh, here it is. "Hello, Sarah. May I come in to visit?" Sarah rose to her feet at once. I think we'll only play through one character's route, which will go with Jessie. I think. Yeah. "You're very welcome. Please come inside." Jessie stepped into the room, then held out her skirt to drop a delicate curtsy in greeting. "I know we have been introduced, but I wish to make your acquaintance more personally. And without Lavi listening in." "Lavina? I thought... Hello! I thought you and she were the best of friends." "Of course we are. I adore her. She's so Classic, so elegant and focused. I admire her very much. Oh, she's in love. However, sometimes it is nicer to do things for oneself. Are those real silk stockings you're wearing? Sarah blinked, caught unawares by this change of topic. Yes, I have several pairs. My papa took me to many shops while he was in London. They're darling. Mine are only in loose silk cotton. May I see the pattern? Sarah sat down in her comfortable armchair, lifting the hem of her skirt slightly so the floral embroidery over her ankle is visible. What little feet you have! I never saw such little feet! They're gay, Your Honor! Are they small? I don't know how I feel about this. She raised her leg a bit, pointing her toes and moving her foot this way and that. They seem the same size as they've always been, even though I know they must have been smaller when I was younger. Why are they talking about feet? I know they're... I can tell the story is gonna be gay already. Small feet party. Why are we talking about feet? I'm sure that Lottie's feet are smaller than mine, and Emily's, of course, are the smallest of all. Emily? Emily is the doll that Papa bought to be my companion. Sarah stood up and lifted Emily into her arms for Jessie to admire. Emily, this is Jessie Abbott, my new friend. The older girl dropped a beautiful curtsy and then laughed. Oh, she has silk stockings too. Stockings... I guess this is a feet-oriented visual. I don't know how I feel about this. Jessie, do you have something to tell me? Oh, she has silk stockings too. Stockings for such teeny tiny feet. How cute. But you do have small feet for your height, Sarah. I'm sure you do. Look at mine. I don't want to talk about feet anymore. Jessie pressed her foot up alongside Sarah's to comparison. Aw, physical contact. I just wish it wasn't feet. I just don't know whether larger or smaller feet are better. For dancing, I mean. If you dance with a partner, small feet will be better to avoid being stepped on, and they look very stylish in slippers. Slippers are cuter if they are smaller, but larger feet might be better for holding positions and standing on your toes. Small feet may not be as strong. Can we please stop talking about feet? Your feet have a good shape, though. They arch well. They're very pretty. Can we... They're like... Give me your feet. Can feet be pretty? I like where this story is going. No! No! Why is she going up the bank? Colonel Grange's little daughter, Isabel in India, was the prettiest girl I ever knew. All gentlemen said she was beauty. I can't even do voices anymore. Beauty of the regiment. She has dimples and round rose-colored cheeks, pale blue eyes, and long curling hair the color of gold. What is that emote? What is that emote? Later the question is going to be, can feet be kissed? It's going to get weird. Please don't kiss feet. That's gross. Immersion derailed by feet. Just I didn't come in here to start talking about feet. We need a feet emote. We do not need a feet emote. No. There's already one that exists on most devices. No. No, remember to stay in all its glory. Feed him out. Feed emote at 1,000 subs. Long curling hair the color of gold, and everyone said those things were very pretty. No one ever spoke of her feet. I suppose if feet could be pretty, then perhaps I do have pretty feet. I know the rest of me is not. My hair is too black and straight and short. I am too thin and my eyes are a strange color. You do not have the same kind of beauty that dolls are made of, but that doesn't mean you aren't pretty. I think you are quite interesting to look at. Oh good, we're done with feet now, thank God. Sarah did not wish to contradict her new friend, who had no reason to lie, but her inner conviction that she was an ugly little girl could not be so easy. Oh God, mood. I'm not a girl, but you know, mood. Will you show me the rest of your dolls and clothes? Do all of your petticoats have so many lace frills? Do you think any of them would fit me? I don't know. I suppose we can find out. New week. Great. No more feet. On Sunday morning, the students gathered in the entrance hall of Miss Minchin's Select Seminary. Girls, are you ready? Form up into a line behind Lavinia. Sarah, dear, it is our custom to walk. New week, new feet. I'm gonna throw up really quickly, hold on. Why do you guys want to know about the feet? When the weather permits, that allows the horses a day of rest and shows that students with— Hello, puppy. No? Okay. And shows that students receive regular exercise. It is important to look your best when we are walking out among the public. We want our school to always leave a good impression. You should follow Lavinia's cues. She'll show you what to do. Lavinia is always a model student. As if hearing her name, Lavinia smiled and tilted her head. And she just did like an emote animation where she just popped up and disappeared. You could learn a great deal from Lavinia, dear. As her father is also posted to India, the two of you should have much in common. I'm sure you'll make close friends. Now, go and stand in line behind her. Sarah made her way to the front of the line where Jessie and Lavinia stood close together. What are you doing? Go to the back. Miss Minchin told me to stand behind you. She said you were a model. Oh, very well then. But that's my place. You won't want to disobey Miss Minchin, would you? No. We have to show our new girl how to behave herself in church. She may never seen one before. Sarah thought it wisest to remain silent. Oh good, it's another new day? Where is the feet talk? We're done with the feet talk. I need you. I need more. I thank you for water. Feet free. I am concerned. Are we just... I'm gonna read a book for... Oh, they're already selected. Next, I guess we're just gonna practice dance. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Well, look, we're gonna be practicing dance. We're gonna be looking at our feet. A lot, I guess. Reading? Dancing? 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 Okay, I think, okay. We're fully leveled up in knowledge. I don't know how this thing works. I don't know, man. A knock came at the door. Sarah? Sarah, dear? Yes? Is there... Oh, hello. Hello! Bonjour, mademoiselle. Miss Minchin hissed through her teeth, and the young woman in the maid's uniform felt silent. Sarah, before he left, your father arranged for a maid to be employed, especially for your needs. She has just arrived. I believe she is from France? Yes. Her name is Mariette, and she'll be living in your rooms, helping you with your clothing in the morning and anything else you require. Please use her as your liaison with the staff. If you have need of food, send your maid rather than speaking to cook directly. And don't let her fool you. She does speak the Queen's tongue. What? Why is she not... What? Miss Minchin? The fuck? She swept out of the room, leaving the maid and her new little mistress blinking at each other in confusion. Bonjour, Mariette. Je m'appelle Sarah. Comment allez-vous? J'ai bien, missy, and I am pleased to see you just as your papa described you. Did I do the French correctly? I actually don't I don't speak French. I took like one lesson of Duolingo once of French. And I used to watch Madeline a lot, but that's it. That's it. Oh, what do you say? That no other girl is as solemn as you, and that you would make me smile. But why would being solemn make someone smile? Ah, it is your je ne sais quoi. It is you. He has that certain, how do you say, je ne sais quoi. It is you. Now, why don't you show me around your rooms? French maid. Oh, we can play an event with her. Okay, for next Jessie event, we need 3 more patience, 3 more sympathy, and 3 belief. Okay, we'll play. Haha, what if I commissioned you to draw feet portraits based off of what was described in the game? Haha, just kidding, unless I hate myself for that one. Oh, French maid, I think I'll play this game now. French maid. Yes. She's pretty. I mean, I hate feet, but I'll... If you pay me $200. Okay, we'll play Mariette. I want to romance the fresh maid. Mariette, may I? Is it alright if I ask you? I hate feet, but $200 is $200. Exactly. I could buy a few games with that. I'll pay you an exposure, take it or leave it. What about 300 for Chuck E. Cheese feet? Done. Pay me. Exposure. Exposure of the feet? I'm gonna try it. I am that one image of Remy from Ratatouille where he is just he has like the throw up face. Hi Cody. Welcome to the feet stream. Sub goal where there was like a certain VTuber asset where there's like a feet pose where they have the feet on the desk. Cody, what do I practice to get good at Mario Kart? Drifting. It's been so long, honestly, we were streaming so far. I actually got a tweet in my Twitter page about like apparently the current online meta. That's easy to do. There's a online meta, I guess, and it's at least right now Waluigi with a certain vehicle and and the Animal Crossing parachute. But also it's kind of boring to have everyone be the same characters and like the same things, but also that's the online meta for now, I guess, but it's sad. I wish there wasn't a meta for that kind of game. Mariette, is it alright if I ask you a few questions about yourself? Bien sûr, mademoiselle. What do you wish to know? What is your family name? Miss Minchin did not say. How do I say feet in French? Dumas, mademoiselle. Oh, are you a relative of the great French writer? The author of the Three Musketeers? Mariette chuckled kindly. Non, mademoiselle. Oh, Waluigi has big feet. How much do you want for Waluigi feet? 500. The bigger the feet, the bigger the commission. Why am I breathing into the mic? I've drawn two femboy Waluigis, though. They're somewhere in my Instagram. I don't want to learn shortcuts. I just haven't played Mario Kart since the Wii. That'd be really interesting to try and figure out. Like a Mario Kart Wii stream, because that would be interesting. Because I have the stuff. I would just need an extra Wii controller or couple, or I don't know how to set it up to do online. I mean, not online. I mean, I know there's stuff to play it online, but like, I mean, doing the thing where, I know Game Grumps was able to do it. When they've had to do a couple videos where Danny and Aaron were separate, but they were still able to play on the same quote-unquote console with the emulator somehow. I want to figure that out. No, mademoiselle. Well, not in a close way, I'm not. There are many with the name of Dumas, and I cannot know what connections there are between our people. Do you know all of your cousins, and your cousin's name, and all who bear the name of Crew? I do not know anyone else named Crew except for myself and my papa. The last Mario Kart I played was Double Dash on my own GameCube. The only Mario Karts I've actually played ever are Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart... Is it 7 for the DS? Or 3DS, I mean. I play the 3DS edition on my 3DS, but, yeah. I actually found 3DS Mario Kart to be and Mario Kart Tour. Mario Kart Tour, or I found 3DS to be like so much easier than current Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So you see, I cannot say who my relatives might be at some distance. Sarah nodded. Where in France do you come from? I grew up in Limoges? You may have heard of the Limoges box, the porcelain? Sarah shook her head. Ah, well, they were famous once. Perhaps they will be again. For now, like much of Limoges, they have faded. What is it like there? Ah, what is it like anywhere? It is a city. Not so large as Paris or London, no. Is it near Paris? No, pas trop. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It is in the south. You must rely on the railways to travel between them. All trains lead to Paris. All roads lead to Rome. Sarah tried to picture it. She did not know Limoges, but if it was in the south, then it must be warm and green, surely. She'd seen paintings of France, stone houses, arches and bridges, rolling green hills, hanging vines, and sunlight. Always sunlight, not the fogs of London. It must be lovely. As you say, mademoiselle. How'd you come to take this position? What I mean is to say is, my papa and I did not have time to visit France, and I did not meet you until you came here. I'm using you guys like Google, no questions, only game. Also, I keep forgetting that the squids in the Mario and Zelda universe are called bloopers and not squids, because my dumbass is like, squids, like in Splatoon, even though I've never played any of the Splatoon games. Also, if I were to play Splatoon, I have Splatoon 1 for my Wii U. I am fuck it. Would I play? Like, would I be okay to stream Splatoon 1? Hello.
Hi.
Can you open that for me, please? Thank you. I eat ice cream bar. I mean sandwich. Ice cream sandwich. That is cold. Yeah, I know it's like up to me and stuff. I know that Splatoon 2 recently had the Octo expansion, and I know that they're releasing Splatoon 3 soon. I know there's like different things, and I know I've heard that there is some hacking going on in Splatoon 1, especially because the Wii U is so hackable now. I don't know. I want to go through them in order, but maybe if there's a story mode or something, I'd be fine with doing those. Let me finish this ice cream bar before I continue, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to talk. I'm thinking. I'm spacing out so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm almost done though. Head pats. I have been shooken. Why don't app auto caption say I've been shroken? I said shooken. Oh god, we haven't. We were idle too long for a second. Okay. Water. There we go. Okay. Did you meet my papa somewhere else? None. We have never met in flesh and blood. Your papa, he is a gentleman and knows many other gentlemen in fine cities like Paris. When it happened that he wished to appoint a maid, he wrote to this parish gentleman to describe you. And I have a cousin who works for this parish gentleman, and he thought of me, and so the arrangements were made. And I'm glad that they were. Sarah smiled. The gentle warmth of Mariette's regard was very comforting for a little girl, one who had been separated from her family and made to live in a far-off place. It was true that Mariette was for the most part only another stranger, like any other in Miss Minchin's seminary. They were only just beginning to know each other. And yet, Mariette was not simply a stranger who might come and go, like the students. She was Sarah's maid, the beginnings of her very own household. She might, in time, be the closest thing to family. I wonder about the friend my papa has in Paris. I wonder if he ever knew my mother. New week. It was the beginning of another week of classes, and the students were seated neatly in rows in the schoolroom. Miss Minchin walked up and down between the desks, ensuring that each pupil's head was bowed to her particular lessons. She paused beside Sarah, book in her hand. Oh no. Now, Sarah, as your papa has engaged a French maid for you, I conclude that he wishes you to make a special study of the French language. Ah, I think he engaged her because he thought I would like her, Miss Minchin. I'm afraid you may have been something of a spoiled little girl, and as such, you always imagine that things are done because you like them. It is a fault in you, and one that we must endeavor to train away. Oh, okay. My impression, Sarah, is that your papa wished for you to learn French. I've never really learned to speak French, but that is quite enough. You have never learned? I no longer like the teacher. She was kind of a bitch. You have never learned? Cause she thinks Sarah's spoiled and shit. You have never learned, and so you must begin at once. The French master, Monsieur Dufages, will be here in a few minutes. Take this book and look at it until he arrives. Dutifully, Sarah stared at the illustrated pages in front of her. La père, the father, la mère, the mother. You look rather cross, Sarah. I'm sorry you do not like the idea of learning French. She is focusing! I'm very fond of it, but... You must not say but when you are told to do things. Miss Abbott, young lady should not make dreadful snickering noises like a horse. Yes, Miss Minchin. Sarah, look at your book again. Yes, Miss Minchin. Yeah, I no longer like her. Le frère, the son, le frère, the brother. Oh dear. Shortly after, Monsieur Dufages arrived in the classroom. French master was an elderly gentleman with a neatly trimmed mustache and beard, and hair that flew outwards in dramatic points. Can I see him? His tilth! As an adult. Me, as in me, Iris. Dommy mommy? His eyes lit up when he caught sight of an unfamiliar little girl puzzling over a book of French phrases. His hair— that hair is not long! Look at— look at that dude. Aha! Is this a new pupil for me, madame? Hi, B! Thank you for following! Her papa kept— did somebody order love and affection? No? I am spacing out so bad. I don't think I ordered it, but I'll take some. Not one, but two people! Two. Hello. We are dealing with a teacher who is being a bitch? Too fucking bad we here to make you feel damn it. It ain't cool. Her papa, Captain Crew, is very anxious. Love this trash dude. They're good. You guys are gonna make me flustered. Is very anxious that she should begin the language, but I'm afraid she has a childish prejudice against it. She does not seem to wish to learn. She is focusing! Bitch! Do it now before my stand army of hates and greed love. Wait, what do I gotta do? I am very sorry to hear that, mademoiselle. Perhaps when we begin to study together, I may show you that it is a charming tongue. This teacher is fucking lying. What the fuck is wrong with her? She got the wrong fucking idea. Little Sarah rose in her seat. She was beginning to feel rather desperate. S'il vous plaît, monsieur, je ne peux la faire comprendre. She began— smashed her heart button. She began to explain quite simply in pretty influent French. Madame had not understood. She had not learned French exactly, not out of books, but her father, her papa, and other people had always spoken it to her, and she had read it and written it as she had read and learned written English. Her papa loved it. She loved it because he did. Her dear mama, who had died when she was born, had been French. What? This bitch. What on earth? What is she saying? Is this some form of joke? Ah, madame, there is not much I can teach her. She has not learned French. She is French. Her accent is exquisite. You ought to have told me. I tried. I suppose I did not begin right. We making Miss Minchin mad. Miss Minchin slammed her hand upon the desk. Silent. Fuck. I'm trying to be angry. This is just too funny to me. Okay. Silence, young lady. Silence at once. Although the other students soon settled back into proper schoolroom behavior, Miss Minchin's lips remained tightly pressed together whenever she looked at Sarah. Oh, she does not like us now. Oh, jeez. Okay. We want to— which one is patience? Hate her now. Okay, time is patience. Okay, so no feet for her. God. So I guess with— I have been bonked. We'll write in diary until we get enough patience, I guess, because we can... It seems like we can get a little bit of everything out of it, except vigor. But... I'm in love with the teacher? This bitch kind of reminds me way too much of, some whack shit. Writing. Writing. Please give me patience. Writing. Writing. No, we didn't get any patience. Oh no. It's fine. If the French language fell naturally from Sarah's lips, there were other lips from which it seemed it could not escape at all, no matter how long the owner stared at her workbook. Le père, the father, le no la mère, the mother. To Ermengarde, it seemed almost unbelievable that a girl of her own age could string together so many words of French as if they were mere trifles. Dismayed at her own failing, she is devoting more effort than usual to the trial of understanding her lessons. Her elbows rested on the desk, her hands under her chin, as she repeated the broken syllables under her breath. She stared so hard and bit the ribbon on her pigtails so fast that she attracted the attention of Miss Minchin, who, feeling extremely cross at the moment, immediately pounced upon her. Oh no! Miss St. John, what is the meaning of such conduct? What? Remove your elbows. Take your ribbon out of your mouth. Sit up at once. Yes, Miss Minchin? Oh, no. Matters did not improve for Miss St. John when the French master himself arrived. Good bread, le bon pain? Kindly though as he was, Monsieur Dufache could not help but smile at her pronunciation. That is not quite correct. Écoutez bien, le bon pain. Pain? Pen? Pan? Le bon pain? Le bon pain? Girls, conduct yourselves. This bitch needs to be fired. It isn't funny, really. They ought not to laugh. Poor thing. It is a way of hers to always want to spring into any fray in which someone was made uncomfortable or unhappy. However, there is no way for any hero to defend or rescue Ermengarde from the horrors of education, at least not until the lesson period had concluded. Aww. Okay, we only need 4 beliefs to play Mariette's event. She should conduct herself. We're going for maid. Come and see, come and see! Ah, mademoiselle, you do not need to tug at me. It is a promise, I will follow. Her hand still held in Sarah's, Mariette stepped into the classroom. I'm very sorry, I was too excited. It was quite all right, then. Now, what was it that you wished to show me? Well, as it happens, it is more what I wished for you to show me. Miss Minchin keeps a globe in the schoolroom. I was hoping you could show me where in France you were born. Ah, if it please you, mademoiselle. I do not think it will make much impact for you, though. The distance between one city and another, compared to the world, it is not so much. Dutifully, she turned the globe to bring France into view. Somewhere near there, I believe, would be Limoges. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Sarah followed Mariette's finger and then smiled to herself. You are right. It does not tell me anything more than I already knew. Could you show me where you lived in India? Here, I think. Or somewhere nearby. It's hard to be sure, but this is where the ship took us. Sarah tilted her head and considered Mariette curiously. You are very different from an Indian servant. Ma'am? My ayah was always kind to me, but she would never tell me if I were doing something wrong or making a mistake. Even if I asked for her opinion, she would always say that I was right. It was very confusing sometimes until I learned to ask my papa when I needed to know something. Your papa wrote of you and that you were a clever and curious child who was eager to learn and would appreciate having the reasons explained to you. I accidentally gave her the British accent again. Yes, that is just so. I'm trying so hard. It was another sign of how much her papa considered her needs and well-being, and it made Sarah warm to think about it. Every time Mariette speaks to me, it is a gift from my papa. I do miss my Aya sometimes, and the other servants from our home. They were always part of my life, even the ones that worked directly for my papa and did not speak to me. They were familiar. I wish I could see them again. All of my life. I suppose my life hasn't really been that long, has it? But for all my life, I always knew that I would have to go away, like other children did. The climate of India is very bad for British children, so we must return to England and go to school. That is what everyone says. I wonder, is the climate of England very bad for Indian children also? Perhaps that is why none of us traveled with us here. It's because they're fucking racist. Perhaps that is so. If, as you say, the climate is very different, then it could be very difficult to adjust. Now she's Italian. However, mademoiselle, it is also very possible that they do not wish to travel so far from the homes and families that they love. Oh, yes. I didn't think of that. I would not wish to leave either if I had the choice. I'd rather be at home with my papa. It is very difficult to leave behind all that you have known and travel to a foreign land. But this is a foreign land to you. Wasn't it difficult to leave your family and your home in Paris? In France? Mariette's smile was enigmatic. Who can say? Perhaps it is for the best, and the best of all possible worlds. New week. Did you see that darling little blue and yellow bird on the way back from church? It was only a blue tit. They're hopelessly common. Blue tit. I hadn't seen one before. They're country birds. They're like trees. You don't see them so much in London. There must be many more birds in the country. Are there any birds in England that are blue all over? I don't think so. Are there blue birds in India? I almost gave her a Valley Girl voice. I'm so sorry. Well, Jessie is now a confirmed Valley Girl that likes feet. There are some birds with bright blue feathers, but not all over, and there are birds that blue all over, but only a bit blue. I thought that perhaps in England I might find the bluebird of happiness. What is that? I shall tell you, all of you. Come up to my room and we shall have tea delivered. You shouldn't give orders to cook. It's not proper for a young lady to go into the kitchens. Oh, I won't go. My maid, Mariette, will fetch the tea for us. I saw some bluebirds outside like not long ago. No. I haven't really looked outside very much, but we have some doves around here. There actually was a dove, a couple doves that had a couple generations of babies in a tree in our backyard. You have your own personal maid to bring you tea? Yeah, my father arranged for her to come from Paris. Come and say hello. Shh. Sarah and her entourage were greeted at the door. Oh my, so many visitors. I cannot do language. I cannot do the accents. I'm so sorry. If it's all right, would you please bring tea for my guests, Mariette? Oui, mademoiselle. Mariette went at once to the kitchens to carry out her little mistress's orders. The head cook of Miss Minchin's select seminary looked up at Mariette's approach. Her face as pinched as her dough. Oh no. This is some different music. Here now, what's this then? Afternoon tea for 4? Oh, is that all? I expect you'll be wanting fresh cakes too, never mind we haven't any made. Ah, none, the biscuits already. Never seen that stop one of those girls from wanting more quick as you please. Is perhaps so, some, but not with my mistress. Elle d'une princesse, c'est petit. She thanks me for my work just as she were thanking a grand lady. giving yourself airs, you mean? As you wish it. Still, I'm very pleased with my place. Now, the tea? Oh boy. I still want patience. So we'll be done. Writing. Yay, we got patience. Writing. Writing. Yay. We got more patience and sympathy. Right this way, dear Sarah. Lady Pitkin will be absolutely charmed to meet you. Yes, Miss Minchin. Where's she taking Sarah? Miss Minchin is showing off to another visiting parent, or maybe a donor. I'm sure I wouldn't know. Dear Sarah must come into the drawing room and talk to Mrs. Musgrave about India. Dear Sarah must speak French to Lady Pitkin. Her accent is so perfect. She didn't learn her French at this seminary, that's for certain. And there's nothing so clever in her knowing it. She says herself she didn't learn it at all. She just picked it up just because she always heard her papa speak it. It's simply disgusting, the way Miss Minchin trots her out like an ornament. I can't imagine being so good at anything that Miss Minchin should want to show me off, especially French. Sarah is always imagining. She will no doubt grow to be eccentric. There's one thing about her, though. She's never grand about herself the least bit, even though she easily might be. I believe I couldn't help being proud. Just a little, if I had so many fine things and was made such a fuss over. A little? If Miss Minchin brought you into courtesy for a mayor's wife, you would purr, just like Tybalt. Oh, Labby, don't be silly. Being a cat might be even nicer than being able to speak French. And every bit as likely for you. This bitch! There's no use in waiting here for Sarah. She'll be at tea for hours, I'm sure. We may as well go on our way. Oh no, we need 4 more vigor for Mariette. Fuck! Okay, we'll play Jessie. That afternoon, Jessie came to Sarah's rooms for tea. The tea itself, though, seemed to hold little interest for her. Oh, stretch break. I was hoping you could tell me more about your feet. I'm stretching. Why is my tracking software being funny? Okay. Ooh, back pop. I was hoping you could tell me more about your life in India. It sounds very interesting and different to me. I'm only learning the ways I was different by being here. My papa and I lived in a bungalow that was as large as this school, but wide rather than tall. There was a veranda where we could sit in the breeze and watch the sunset. The summers are so hot that many children of British parents become ill, so we are taken away to the hill stations, which are towns in the mountains near lakes where it is cooler. I had many toys and pets and servants that would salam to me and call me Miss Sahib. I suppose that is because we are rich, but it's all the life I knew. Did you ride elephants and camel leopards and tigers? I have never seen a camel leopard. There are elephants in India, of course, but they are mostly used to carry heavy equipment or for Rajas to ride in parade. I've seen them, but I've never ridden one. And tigers are too dangerous to see up close. Anyone who tried to ride one would be clawed and eaten. They attacked villages sometimes and carry off the native children, you know. It's terrible. One even attacked the outpost my papa was stationed at, and he had to shoot it to defend the citizens. How exciting! He is very brave. I miss him so. I hope he does not do anything too brave while I'm not there to look after him. Was it very frightening, traveling so far? No, there were many other people on the ship with us. It was strange and not so comfortable as this room, but it did not feel dangerous. It would have been much harder if my papa were not with me. When young boys are sent back to England, they are sometimes made to travel with the regiments and no family at all. A pleasant companion makes a great deal of difference. He should always have one. Jessie pressed her hands together in her lap, the motion giving a shy lift to her shoulders. I would very much like to travel the world when I'm older, but I don't know if I'll ever have the chance. Do you think you will travel, Sarah? Well, I do want to return to India as soon as I'm old enough, and I think I should like to visit France someday. I haven't thought of it beyond that. It is a very big world. I suppose it'd be a shame to live one's entire life in only a small part of it. Jessie gently swirled the liquid inside her teacup, her eyes locked on the little ripples and waves. Some people feel that London is the center of the world, and that once you're here, there's nowhere better in all the world for you to go. Why would you want more than perfection? I'm sure London is very nice, but... The cup trembled in Jessie's hands. Oh, I'm sorry. I've spilled a bit of tea. How silly of me. Please, tell me more stories about India? Alright. New week. I should probably save. Yep, we haven't saved since then. Yep, okay. Return? Stay together now, girls. Keep in line, and don't step in any puddles. Just because church is over is no excuse to soil your nice dresses. The air smells very different when it has rained. It still smells like London. There are too many people and chimneys and horses. I keep lavender satchels in my room so I can smell the gardens, even when I'm away from home. I don't know where that accent came from, but I guess we're gonna try and keep it. They're not much. My Aunt Eliza sent me the flowers. I stitched them myself. We have lavender in India, too. Oh, isn't lavender an English flower? I thought everything in India would be saffron and spices. Perhaps the British soldiers brought lavender with them so that they could smell the gardens, too. Do you think that soldiers could be homesick? Of course. Soldiers must be very brave and bear all sorts of dangers and hardships, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings. And we must be brave, too, even when we are far from the homes and the people that we love. I'm so sorry about the accents. A carriage passed alongside Miss Minchin's students as they walked, seemingly packed to the walls with children. 8 of them, siblings all, and such a giggling mass of blonde curls and rosy cheeks as Sarah had never seen before. Their merriment was infectious, and Sarah had found the smile had come unexpectedly to her face. As such, it came to a slight shock when the carriage moved along and revealed a sight previously hidden on the other side of the street. A little beggar child in a heap of rags, too dirty for Sarah to tell if it was a boy or a girl. Pricked by the sight, Sarah stepped out of line and carried her little coin purse to the child. Sarah, wait! Where are you going? Here's a 6pence. Go and buy yourself something warm. She hurried back into formation, but not before her steps were noticed by Miss Minchin. Oh no. Sarah Crewe! If you must stay in line. If you go rushing off, you will put yourself at risk. I should not like to tell your father that you were struck down by a cab horse in the road. I only wish to... Generosity is a virtue, but it's not wise or safe to come into close contact with creatures of the streets. You must be careful to clean yourself thoroughly when we return to the school. Oh, this bitch! Yes, Miss Minchin. Sarah looked back, but the beggar child had already disappeared from sight. How strange that one child should be hungry and dirty on the streets, while another rides in a fine carriage and knows nothing but joy and laughter. And all these things happen quite by accident because of the way that we are born. Exactly. Okay. We want to bigger... What does this mean? Gain things equal to... We'll go for walks. I guess. Walking, walking, walking. Oh, fuck, we fucked up. Walking. Oops. Even from a distance, there was no mistaking Lottie's shrill little voice. I want to hold the kitty! Don't be ridiculous. Sarah came into the room to find Lavina perched primly in a window seat, looking down the smaller child whose lips was beginning to wobble. Tybalt is my lap, and he is perfectly content there. Listen, you can hear him purr. That is because I am stroking him and he likes me. I want to hold the kitty. Keep your sticky little fingers away from his fur. Lottie's brow burrowed in fierce determination. And ignoring Lavina's command, she reached out to pick up the cat. Oh no. Lavina slapped Lottie's hand away. Oh. The sudden movement jostled Tybalt out of his comfortable doze. With a parting squeeze of his claws, he leapt from Lavina's legs and hurried out of the room. Now you look what you've done, you little brat. He's scratched me, and if he's damaged my dress, it scratched you because you're mean. You wouldn't even let me touch it. Isn't fair, it isn't. A cat is not a rag doll. You cannot snatch and tug it as you please, or will bite your hand. Is that too difficult for a child of 8 to understand? She cannot help being younger any more than we can help being older. If she is 8, she is 8. But she'll be 9 the next year, and 10 the year after that, and in 12 years she'll be 20, and that is quite grand. Dear me, how we can calculate. I don't want to be 20. You will be when you are, and you won't be when you aren't, so there's no reason to want or not to want. No, no, no! Be quiet, or I shall slap your face. This girl is violent. Holy fuck. You mustn't. Lottie looked into Lavina's blazing eyes and then ran from the room, wailing at the unfairness of it all. You ought not to baby her, Sarah. She must learn that she can't have everything her own way. Privately, Sarah thought Lottie was not the only student at the school who might need to learn that lesson. Oh, jeez. No, we need one more vigor. It's fine, we have Jessie. Sarah, I was wondering, what do you do when you are at tea with Miss Minchin and those people? Does she have you recite a party piece, or dance, or pose? Are there men present? Not commonly, and only if their wives are in attendance. I do not think so many men would care for tea with a schoolmistress. Oh, you would be so wrong there, buddy. I've never been asked to dance or recite. Sometimes she asks me about my lessons and if I like the classes and the other pupils, which I always say that I do. Sometimes they ask me about books that I've read, which I don't mind. And then Miss Minchin says how clever I am, which makes me uncomfortable. Often Miss Minchin wishes me to converse in French with a lady. They're not usually French women themselves, but they see the language as a charming accomplishment. All of a sudden, Jessie's tone sharpened. Do they actually converse with you as a person or only as Miss Minchin's pretty toy? Do they ever call on you instead of Miss Minchin? Do you ever see them again? Sarah blinked rapidly. I don't understand. Doesn't it make you angry, being used like a trinket for Miss Minchin to display? There does not seem any reason for me to be angry. Having tea with visitors is not such a difficult thing. It is like a kind of performance with attention instead of applause. Performance? I never thought that tea and books and French could be like being on the stage. Jessie spun in place, letting her skirt catch the air, and then sank in a formal curtsy. It was a beautiful position, with her back perfectly straight and the fabric of her dress spread neatly around her. Oui, oui, mademoiselle, please, pour again. Not quite like that. Jessie straightened, patting her skirts down to ensure every ruffle was in place. Will you speak French to me, Sarah? Hey, yo! I hardly know what to say when you ask it like that. Say something pleasant. Say that it's a beautiful day, or that your breakfast was delicious, or that I am clever and charming. Vous êtes un jeune fille charmante, mais je ne vous comprends pas toujours? Toujours? I hope I said that right. Jessie smiled, although Sarah was not sure she had understood the entire phrase. The language sounds much lovelier than from your lips than from those of Monsieur Duflage. It always sounds beautiful to me. It reminds me of my mother. Oh, did you... Jessie, where are you? Oh, I have to go. I'll visit you later, alright? And she hurried off to answer her best friend's summons. I think Jessie might like us. Would you like to sit in front of the mirror while I brush your hair, mademoiselle? Oh, I don't think so. Not by the mirror. You see, it is nice to sit and think while you run the brush through my hair. Sometimes I remember stories or think of things I want to say to someone else. Other times it helps me relax. It must be like that for Tybalt when someone is petting him. But if I were looking into the mirror, then the Sarah in the mirror would be looking back at me, and we should have to pay attention to each other, or else we might be thought impolite. Mariette laughed in the back of her throat. And that is as you wish. I thought about doing something different with your hair, and if you could see, then you would know more quickly if you thought yes or no, and I could change it if you did not like it. Well, I think it's better to look at it when it's finished. If you stop reading a book in the middle, you might have the wrong idea of what it's all about. Then I will show you when I am done. I want to see the new haircut! The new hairstyle! Mariette is so kind. I would be terribly lonely in these rooms without her. This school is full of other girls, but they are, like me, guests of Miss Minchin. We live in the same house, but they are not part of my household. Mariette is the only person who belongs to me. She does not belong to you. It's nice. It is nice to think and sit and think when she brushes my hair, and she does a better way with it than my old Aya did, but I do miss my papa, so if he were here, if he were coming to visit me as some girls' parents do, how happy my life would be. I wonder where my papa is now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak. No, it is good, mademoiselle, you should speak your thoughts. Your father sailed many weeks ago. By now he is in India, yes? Home and safe, and thinking about how different the house seems without your footsteps. Oh, I don't want to think of him sad and lonely. It is right that he misses you and that you miss him. That is how things should be, but that does not mean your life is nothing but sadness, does it? No, I do not think I'm melancholy. I would not wish to be. I do enjoy my books and my friends. So, you see, your papa, he will be lonely, but he will also feel other things. He will live his life, but he will also think of you. I believe you will hear from him soon. Oh, I hope you are right. No, you must be right. My papa will write me letters, and as soon as the ships carry him, and I will treasure his words. And I do hope that my papa is a friend to care for him. I just added pronouns test. Oh, I see them now. She, they. Fuck yeah. Okay, so we want to not go for a walk because that doesn't help. Play with toys seems like a better option. Because I want vigor so bad. Yay! Excuse me. Okay, we should have enough for the next event. While Sarah was walking through the school, she heard a great commotion coming from a nearby room. The first high-pitched shriek made her startled, concerned that one of the younger girls might have injured herself. Sarah was a quiet and solemn girl herself, but made no judgment against those whose temperaments led them to cry out loudly when they were in pain. However, the wailing went on, more angry than miserable, and the voice was recognizably Lottie's. Oh no. Sarah came closer and began to make out the accompaniment of a frustrated adult that had been drowned out by childish tantrum. What are you crying for? There is nothing wrong with you. Oh, I haven't got any mama. Stop crying, for heaven's sake. Oh, I haven't got any papa. You ought to be whipped. You shall be whipped if you do not hush, you naughty child. Another test? I see them. They don't show up on the... They don't show up on the OBS. I mean, they show up in my like my stream chat thingy, but they don't show up on the stream itself yet. In order to do that, I would have to switch to like a different thing for the chat, but I like it as it is right now, but we'll figure it out when we get to it. This bitch. Lottie wailed more loudly than ever. Miss Minchin emerged from the room, her hands pressed to the sides of her head, and paused when she saw Sarah lingering outside. Oh god. The music got more scary. Oh, dear Sarah. Miss Minchit's attempt at producing a friendly smile was not at all convincing. Lottie's roars continued unabated, and each burst of sound made Miss Minchin's shoulders twitch. Haven't you dealt with this before? I stopped because I knew it was Lottie, and I thought perhaps, just perhaps, I can make her be quiet. May I try, Miss Minchin? If you can quiet that, you are a clever child. A dreadful thing, we may not be able to keep her. But you are clever in everything, my dear. I dare say you can manage her. Go in. Dear fucking God. When Sarah entered the room, Lottie was lying. My computer took too long to load anything about after that, but yay. When Sarah entered the room, Lottie was lying upon the floor, screaming and kicking her small fat legs violently. Ah! That's my child scream, okay? Sarah stood by the howling, furious child for a few moments and then looked down at her without saying anything. Then she sat down flat on the floor beside her and waited. Except for Lottie's angry screams, the room was quite quiet. This was a new state of affairs for Lottie, who was accustomed to hearing other people protest, implore, and command and coax her by turns. To find that the only person near her did not seem to mind the least how she kicked and screamed was unusual, and made it necessary for her to pause her sobbing in order to see what was going on. She opened her tight shut, streaming eyes to see what this person was, and found that it was only another little girl, but it was the one that owned Emily and all the nice things. Sarah looked at Lottie quite curiously, but said nothing. Lottie sucked in a gulp of air, but the noise she made sounded rather half-hearted. I haven't any mama. Neither have I. Lottie blinked rapidly at this unexpected answer. Her legs and arms ceased their kicking and lay flat against the floor. Where's your mama? She went to heaven, but I'm sure she comes out sometimes to see me, though I don't see her. So does yours. Perhaps they can both see us now. Perhaps they're both in this room. Here! Lottie sat bolt upright and looked around. Seeing nothing, her face began to scrunch up again. We can't see the people who live in heaven, even when they come to visit us. They travel like wind or sunlight. You can only feel them for a moment if they touch you, and then they're gone. They can go anywhere in an instant, but most of the time they stay up above. Their land is full of lilies, fields and fields of lilies. And when the soft wind blows over them, it wafts the scent of them into the air. And everyone always breathes it, because that soft wind is always blowing. Wind and sunlight, and the streets are always shining. And little children run about in the lily fields and gather armfuls of them, and laugh and make little wreaths to wear on their heads, or spin cloaks and dresses of soft lily petals. The petals never grow dry or brown, but when the children grow tired of them, they toss the petals into the air and they turn into clouds. Lottie had by now quite forgotten to cry and was leaning forward, hanging on by every word that Sarah spoke. In that shining city, people are never tired, however far they walk. They can float anywhere they like. And there are walls made of pearl and gold all around the city, but they are low enough for the people to go and lean on them, and look down onto the earth and smile. From those walls, sometimes they dance down to visit us, other times they whisper beautiful messages into the wind and hope that someday we will hear them. Oh, I want to go there. I haven't any mama here. Sarah saw the danger signal and took hold of Lottie's hand with a coaxing little laugh. I'll be your mama in this school. Oh no. No. We will play that you are my little girl and Emily shall be your— Nope. No. Shall she? I mean, I'm guessing just to comfort, but no. Yes, let us go and tell her, and then I will wash your face and brush your hair, and both of us shall have a little bit more family. Okay. Okay, Mariette. Sarah lay on her bed, resting her cheek against the cool fabric of her pillow. The light of the mid-morning sun gleamed where it touched the surfaces in her room, gliding them with a fairy's brush. Perhaps if I lay still long enough, I will catch sight of a fairy coming to visit me. The next face she saw was not that of a visiting fairy. Did you try to catch your dreams? Do you try to catch your dreams, mademoiselle? I can leave you to sleep. I've tried in the past to go back to into the same dream, but it never seems to work. Or if it does work, I can't remember it. You don't always remember in dreams. She shifted position, curling onto her side. I just don't feel like getting up today. I'm sorry. Let me see. She laid her dark hand against Sarah's forehead. You may be a little warm, I cannot tell. Does your throat hurt? No, I'm only tired. It's better to prevent than to heal. I will fetch you some porridge and salt water. She bustled out of the room, leaving Sarah to contemplate in silence. I do hope that I'm not ill. It would be most unpleasant. I do not quite feel ill. As long as I think nice thoughts and don't feel ill, then I'm not ill, I think. Many young people would have difficulty remaining in their beds all day, unless they were too ill to do otherwise. It was easier for Sarah, who enjoyed spinning fancies in her mind. I do not truly need to leave my bed in order to play out stories. In fact, with Mariette to bring me food, I might never need to leave these rooms at all. Nope, 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 nope. That is a deep, dark circle, and we are not falling down that road, you little child. Like a princess bricked up in a tall tower, the prisoner of a wicked regent means for her to be forgotten so he can steal her kingdom in peace. She would be diligent in her studies, even within her own tiny bedroom, so that one day when she was rescued, or escaped, she would be ready to take back her rightful lands. That was a diverting fantasy, but it led Sarah to more practical curiosity. There was, after all, someone close to her who did spend most of her days within these rooms. When Mariette returned with her tray of tonics, Sarah asked, Mariette, what do you do during the days when I am away? Since she is my maid Miss Minchin, she should not be made to do any other work, but she is always here when I need her, so she must not go anywhere else. Oh, many things. She set the tray down. I look over your wardrobe and check for anything that might need mending. I might do a little bit of embroidery on my own. And I do read your books. That is how you wish it, yes? I do not think to ask each time that I... Oh no! I am glad that someone else reads them. I have many books, and some of them I only read once, and I worry that they might feel neglected. Sarah looked around at all her pretty things, the gifts from her papa. They are all precious to her, but... If you wish it too, it is all right if you play with my toys while I'm in classes. I know that I can trust you not to break them. Please make sure to leave Emily a little bit of private time when no one is watching her so that she can sleep and relax. If Mariette wished to laugh, she was too polite to do so. Merci, mademoiselle. Now, sit up, if you please, and have a bit of breakfast. If you're too weak, then I shall have to spoon the porridge into you myself. Well. I'm wonderfully well. She laughed, for it was true. She did feel better. Aww. New week. Girls, gather around if you please. We will be welcoming a special dance instructor today who is visiting us from France. She'll be leading you in exercises to increase your grace and posture. Go and change into your leotard-style dancing costumes. She swept off into her office and the girls clustered eagerly together. A special dance instructor? Do you suppose she might be from the Ballet de l'Opéra de Paris? The Ballet of Opera? The Paris Opera Ballet, of course. The absolute birthplace of romantic ballet, and they go all the way back to the court of the Sun King. Oh, I am not so fond of ballet as you are. No one is as fond of ballet as Jessie is. It is a sickness with her. Aww. I wonder if there really is a sickness that could make you like one thing or one person more than another. And if there were, would anyone wish to be cured? Such things you imagine. In any event, it might not be ballet. She is a special instructor after all. Perhaps we will be permitted to practice social dances. Perhaps even the waltz. My father says the waltz is shocking. Watching you attempt to perform it no doubt would be. If we were allowed the waltz, I would be dancing with Jessie. They're gay, Your Honor. Oh! Look at her! Look at her! Perhaps we had better go and get our costumes? Ermengarde is very sensible. Only took a little praise as that to make poor Miss St. John look pleased. The dancing lessons did not progress quite as anyone expected. Oh, and the classroom's different. I do not see how this can be described as dancing. It is preparation for dancing. We are learning to stretch and relax our bodies so that we may move more beautifully. It's French. Sarah, is this the way things are usually done in France? I've never asked Marinette whenever she took dancing lessons. But yeah, it is very important that y'all be stretching and shit, because otherwise, you can overextend yourselves, and it's not good. That's like the first thing that you learn in dance, when I took it, in high school. It was literally the year that, you know, body decided to go bye-bye, after the accident, but, you know, literally you're supposed to be able to do that. I want to walk on my hands! Leave your hands on the floor long enough and Ermengarde will trot on them for you. Ah, Jessie, be careful, you're tickling me. The instructor said it was imperative that we rub deeply to warm our muscles. To speak of muscle upon a lady is very unseemly. Your hands are very strong, Ermengarde. Oh, did I hurt you? No, not a bit. It feels nice. It is a little like having my hair brushed. It makes me feel like a cat, being petted. I want to be a cat! I want to dance like a cat! Cats don't dance. They dance at the court of the king of cats. How did they dance, Sarah? Did they stand on their hind legs? Well, girls, cease chattering and get ready for your lessons. Oh my god, they're so gay. Yes, Miss Minchin! Alright, I guess we'll practice dance? What was the next thing for... Shit. I don't We're lowest on vigor, so we'll keep doing... Oh, we're low on knowledge, too. Let's read books. And then... a little bit of toys. There we go. Also, let me save. Reading, playing. Okay. Are you well, ma petite? Yes, I'm only feeling a little tired. The days have been growing warmer, but the air never feels the same way that it did in India. I suppose Ermengarde is right, and it is the smell of London. Even if I cannot distinguish one scent above the others that would mean London, it must always be there. As I am. Bon courage, mademoiselle. I have something here which will brighten your day. A letter from Papa! Oh, merci, Mariette, merci beaucoup. She did not open it at once, but pressed the envelope to her chest. My papa has sent this. It has been in his hands. If a letter can come into his hands into mine, then we are never so far apart. At last she took out the paper and began to read. My dear little missus, here I am once again in Bombay. I have little to tell you to my adventures, for no sooner than I reached my home than I began thinking of you and putting pen to paper. Therefore, I have seen little since I left you other than the ships, and you remember those. Sarah closed her eyes and let herself remember the voyage from India. The big ship, the Lacars, passing silently to and fro on it, the children playing about on the hot deck. There had been women on board, the wives of some officers who had invited Sarah to take tea with them and delight in her making her speak her unusual thoughts. But most importantly, there had been her papa. I felt it important to write to you at once so you did not worry about your poor old papa all alone on the ocean. All is well, I am returned, and life here is unremarkably changed in my absence. Now it is your duty to let me know all that has happened since I left you, all the new friends you have made, the books you have read, and the sights you have seen in London. Do you remember Colonel Grange and his little girl Isabel? In a year, she will be old enough that she must leave for England as well. I am relying on your advice to tell her what to expect in her schooling. Give my regards to Emily and any companion she may have acquired. Yours always, your loving papa. Sarah held the letter in her hands, already beginning to imagine the many things she might write in response. I love you too, papa. Okay, we can play Mariette. Good. Sarah was curled up in her soft, comfortable chair with a book, while Marionette is the girl from Ladybug. I have never seen it. Oops. Mariette moved around the room, kneading cushions and setting items on shelves into orderly alignments. It was a book detailing life in faraway America and four sisters who were growing up into women. Oh, Little Women. Sarah found it well written, but less exciting than the histories and fantasy she preferred. It is unfair for me to judge them too quickly. Perhaps they will have adventures when they are older. I have not had so many adventures myself yet, but I hope I will someday. As she turned the pages, she became aware of a faint musical sound elsewhere in the room. Mariette was humming to herself. I wonder if she realizes she's doing that. And she sounds like a music box. Very talented singing. Distracted from her reading, Sarah listened for a while, trying to follow the thread of the tune. Miss Minchin's select seminary aimed to create well-rounded young ladies, but Miss Minchin herself did not place so much emphasis on music, and singing masters visited only infrequently. On the streets of London, one might see performers of various sorts, fiddlers, organ grinders, sometimes even singers, although the city noise made it difficult for such to be heard. These street musicians, however, were more commonly found in parts of London through which a refined young lady passed through quickly and did not linger. Her ear tempted by the possibility of a new source of music, Sarah asked, "What are you humming?" "Ah! A pas de moi, mademoiselle." "No, you don't need to stop. It sounded pretty. I was hoping that you knew the song and could sing it to me. I am not certain that I can remember all the words, but I will try." In a breathy voice, Mariette began to sing, which must have been a children's nonsense song about a beautiful lady who was in fact a beautiful slice of bread living in a palace of butter. The lyrics were, of course, all in French, and one or two words referred to things Sarah was unfamiliar with, like croquignoles? Croquignoles? I just said that in such a weird accent. It's American. But she assumed they were another kind of pastry. Perhaps I should have Mariette buy some for us, if she can find them in London. There are likely to be more French bakeries here than in India. Mariette's voice trailed off amidst a pile of confections. "Ah, well, you see how it is, yes?" She's blushing! "I am sorry, it's not a proper song. I think it is a darling little song. Where did you learn it?" "Oh, nowhere important. Thank you for lurking." "It must be a common song in France. I wonder if it's something that my mother knew when she was a little girl." "You look sad, mademoiselle. Is my singing so terrible?" "No, not at all. It was very sweet of you to sing to me. I was thinking about my mother." "Ah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to stir painful memories. But I don't remember her, not at all. That is what I was thinking about." This seemed a serious subject, and so Sarah rose from her chair and stood with her hands clasped behind her as if she were giving a recitation. "I never knew my mother, so I cannot miss her. I do not know what having a mother is like. My father picked you for me because you are kind and French as she was, so I wondered for a moment if he meant for you to be as a kind of mother to me, as I am Mama to Lottie." "We are not Mama to Lottie." "I could pretend it was so if it pleased you, for it pleased my papa, but it does not seem right somehow. You are not my mother. You are Mariette, and that is something all on its own." Mariette covered her smile with her hand. "You are filled with thoughts, ma petite princesse. You do not need to worry. I do not wish to be your mother." Sarah nodded quite seriously. "Oh, good." "That is good. I would not wish to disappoint her. I'm sure she comes out from heaven sometimes to watch over me. It might make her sad if she thought she'd been replaced, especially when I cannot see her or speak with her to explain. Would you like to see her?" "What? But how?" "Come here." Mariette drew Sarah close in front of her. "Close your eyes." Blind, Sarah allowed herself to be guided by Mariette's hands. She was not afraid. She knew Mariette would take care of her. "Now turn and look." Sarah opened her eyes to be faced with the full-length mirror that always stood in her room. "There is your mother. Do you see? Your mother, your father, they made you. They are always inside you." Sarah stared at her reflection for a moment and then smiled. "Mariette, I believe you are filled with thoughts too. Then we are a pair." Aww. That's so sweet. "Yes! I think I hear Sarah coming. Quickly, step aside. Don't let her see us." "But why?" "Shh!" Lavina took hold of her friend's shoulders and pushed her back against the wall. Wait a moment. There, she's gone. Why are we avoiding Sarah? Ever since she got that letter, it's been nothing but India this and India that. If I have to hear her say that word again, I'm afraid the hair will fly right off my head. I like her stories. Did you know? Her father is face down a tiger. He shot the one whose skin Sarah has in her room. That's why she likes it so she lies on it, strokes its head, and talks to it as if it were a cat. That is simply disgusting. If it were a cat, it would be one that he had killed. What, will she drown Tybalt next and have him stuffed for a pillow? I do not think it's the same thing at all. Sarah says the tiger was attacking the outpost and he had to shoot it. Sarah tells stories. You know that. Well, I think her father sounds very interesting, and so does India. It's a filthy, disgusting place, rank with foul humors, and don't you forget it. This bitch. Come along now. Is it because we haven't been as good friends with her yet? Alright. Lavinia led and Jessie followed. Oh god, we're out of grace. Which one is grace? The praying. Practice dance. We'll do practice dance with these ones. Until we get full knowledge again. Knowledge, reading. Okay. Ermengarde, what do you have there? A new book? The plump girl sighed, showing none of the delight Sarah would have found in such a possession. My father sent it to me to be enriching. I don't see how books have made me any richer so far. May I see it? She took the volume from Ermengarde's hands and examined the gold lettering on the cover. Poems antique by Le Comte de Lisle. A book of French poetry. Sarah's excitement only deepened the other girl's dismay. Can we hang out with her and help her out? Would you like me to read it with you? I'm certain that if... What's this? Oh, Sarah, you have a new book. French and poetry? Very improving. As long as it isn't one of those those shocking new decadent poets. A proper lady should not read such works. I'm sure it's nothing of the sort. What would you know about it? I was speaking to Sarah. Actually, the book belongs to Ermengarde. What? Don't be silly. She can't even read it. Ermengarde grabbed the book. It's mine. She turned and walked away. You ought not to tease her so. I didn't say anything that isn't true. What good is a book of French poetry to someone like her? Such a waste. She'll probably never even open it. She should have simply given it to you. Admit it. You know that I'm right. You may be right, but it was a gift from her father. I'm sure she'll treasure it. Not every girl is as devoted to her father as you seem to be, Sarah Crew. God. Oh, good. Okay, we have enough for Mariette. Sarah sat at her desk, unmoving, a pen kept poised between her fingers in preparations for the words that had not yet come. You are studying that paper very intently, mademoiselle. Are there secrets written upon it? It was kindly teasing over the still blank page, but Sarah considered the question seriously. Not that I can read, and I haven't written any of my own, not yet. It would be an interesting sort of magic to write words on paper that only some people could see. But it might be even more interesting if you could read words that hadn't been written yet. But then I suppose if you could read them first, you wouldn't be the one that was writing them. That was a sound Sarah had learned, a polite acknowledgement without understanding. I'm preparing to write a letter to my papa, you see. I want it to be just right, so I keep turning the words over and over in my head. I don't want to send him a page full of blots and scratchings if I change my mind. I'm sure he would love any letter from you, even if it were nothing but scribblings. Yes, I'm sure he would. Still, I want to do my best. Sarah thought a bit longer and then asked, Have you written to your family and friends, Mariette? None. Do you need paper or ink? You could use my desk when I'm out. If you'd like me to leave you some time without interruptions, I could. Mademoiselle, you should not worry about such things. Oh no, poor Mariette. I know how it feels to be far from the place you knew. You must miss your family very much. It is, perhaps so. Then, Mademoiselle, I did not leave my famille in France. I had already lost them many years ago. Oh, Sarah breathed out as hard as a sudden pang of sympathy knifed through her breast. You are an orphan? Of that I do not know. Seeing the concern on her mistress's face, Mariette was compelled to explain herself. Mademoiselle, It is very difficult for a woman's service to raise a child. You cannot work with a babe in your arms. My parents left me in the care of a couple who owned a small inn in Limoges. That is where I grew up. My mother visited me as a child when she could. It was not often. Then one day I realized she would not come back. I did not know what happened. There was no word. She only did not return. I believe that she must have died. I do not think she would have abandoned me by choice. If Sarah had been older and Mariette younger, she would have hugged and comforted her, for Sarah was a tender-hearted soul. It was more difficult in this situation to know what to do. Mariette did not seem to be greatly wounded by her loss, only wistful. Perhaps it was so long ago, as with my own mother, that she does not much remember or miss her. Or as perhaps she is an adult now and she thinks she must be strong. Whatever the case, I think you are right. Your mother must be in heaven now, watching over you. I'm certain she was a kind and loving woman, and she would never forget you. How do you know this, mademoiselle? She rose from her desk and stood straight. Because you are a kind and loving person who looks after others. You're not my mother, but you are like a mother should be. So, I'm sure your mother was just the same. And then Mariette did something unusual. For no particular reason, she reached out and laid her hand atop Sarah's little dark head. I felt warm. Merci, mademoiselle. Aww. Mariette, are you... Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. It's quite alright. Are you reading? Wait, that book! I've seen it before. It was the same familiar copy of Poems Antiques. Your friend, Ermengarde St. John, made a gift of it to me. She thought I might appreciate a volume de Poésie Française. I don't know how to say that. I know it's French. To feel more at home. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think of it. Would you like me to buy you more books in French? I don't mind. No, mademoiselle, I am content. It was a very kindly thought of Ermengarde's. For such a young girl to notice and think of a maid, one who was not in her employ, many would not. Ermengarde is very nice. I did not even consider Marionette. I wanted that book for myself, but Ermengarde has seen the person who would benefit from it most. We are out of sympathy. Tea party. Yeah, tea party, tea party, tea party. Okay. Sarah was resting in her room with a book when there came a quiet knock on the door. Sarah, Mama? What is it, Lottie? Have you come for tea? Mariette has promised a special treat. Apricot sandwiches. Oh, yes! No. Sarah, Mama, you like school, don't you? I don't know. It wasn't something she'd previously spent a great deal of time deciding. After all, whether I like it or not, I am here now. I don't think I could say that I don't like it. Everyone is kind to me and my rooms are pleasant. No! I meant school, with books and numbers and remembering things. Oh yes, I like books very much. Could you help me with my lessons? Because it's hard to pay attention and then Miss Minchin scolds me. I don't like it when she says my name. Miss Lay, I don't like it. But you make everything interesting. Of course I'll help you with your schoolwork, but you still have to learn it. Alright. Yeah, Mariette. I wonder what the other last person is. Mademoiselle? Yes? Her maid held out a book. It was a copy of Poems Antiques which Ermengarde had gifted to her. I finished reading this, so I thought I should offer it to you. Oh, that is very kind of you. I do have a great many books, though, and that one is yours especially, so I don't want to take it away. Mariette smiled and shook her head. I did not mean to give it away, mademoiselle. However, I think there's a poem you'll particularly enjoy. It's called Bhagavat? Sarah's eyes widened. Is it an India poem? It is a French poem on the subject of India. I believe the writer may have visited that place himself. Oh! And she touched that book reverently, as though a portal to faraway lands might be contained within. Then, thoughtful, she turned away and crawled up onto the bed. Will you read it to me? It is your book, after all. I think I should like to hear it in your voice. The voice of France. France has many voices. I will read it to you if you wish, but I am not experienced in dramatic reading. I may not do it justice. It is a very long poem. My throat will have fatigue. Then perhaps if you read only a little bit of a time, it could become something we do together every day. I would like it if you sat on my bed and read it to me. I think it would be nice. All right. Oh! And so Sarah leaned her head against Mariette's shoulder and listened to that soft French voice speaking of birds with wine-purple wings, monkeys in the vines, and sleeping yellow-bellied tigers. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, I wish I could see it all again. What are the most beautiful things you saw in France? Did you ever see the opera ballet? Oh no, that is not for me. The most beautiful sight in France, for me, would be the city of Orleans. It's not so famous as Paris, but has much history. A city? Not a chateau or a mountain? There's a statue of Jeanne d'Arc there. You would like that. It is a reminder of the power of faith and dreams. Are you very homesick, Mariette? I feel sometimes that it might be selfish of me to keep you here. Mademoiselle, you should not worry about such things. But I do worry. It was my wish to come here. I am content. You don't want to go home? Home? It's not a place that exists for me anymore. In any fashion, I am happy in this position and do not wish to leave it. I would much rather be the maid of a petite princesse like yourself than work in a gentleman's house. Oh, does that mean if I return to my papa's home, she'll not accompany me? My papa is a gentleman. I don't know why she would not wish to be in his house, though. It would be wonderful. Girls, gather around if you please. As the weather is particularly pleasant today, we will be taking carriages to the park for extended riding lessons. Please dress accordingly. Oh, thank goodness! It's been too long. I have never greatly cared for horses. It is fashionable and they should know at least the basics, but it is simply not comfortable. Do you ride, Sarah? I would not truly say that I ride, but I have met horses and been in the saddle once or twice. Well, I'm sure you'll learn. You learn everything, after all. I do try. I like riding. I wish we could go further than the park, though. It's more pleasant to be on horseback in the countryside. Oh, I agree. It is much lovelier. Imagine being on horseback, galloping across the wild moors, long hair streaming behind you like a warrior queen of old. Riding astride like some hoyden. Even Boydelica rode in a chariot. I think I should like a chariot. Just then, their discussions were interrupted by the sound of a wailing child. Lottie! Miss Minchin was attempting to bring little Lottie together with the older girls, much to her displeasure. I won't go! I won't! What a ridiculous noise you're making. Stop that noise. Shan't! You are more than old enough to begin learning. Every student at this school is expected to... I hate horses. I won't! Flinching and covering their ears with their hair, the other girls slipped away changed into riding dresses. Only Sarah remained. If you don't behave, you shall be whipped, just as a horse should be. Can you stop with the children whipping? That is not okay. That is not fucking okay, bitch. No! To Sarah's surprise, Lottie suddenly broke free of Miss Minchin and rushed to Sarah, cowering behind her, pressing her wet face into the fabric of Sarah's dress. Is this more than just a tantrum? Miss Minchin, please, could you let me talk to her alone? Dear Sarah, you are very kind, but we simply do not have time for these shenanigans. If you can make her mind swiftly, then do so, but it must be done. Shaking her head, she walked away. Lottie wiped her grubby hands across her face. Her shrieks had quieted, but her eyes were still little fountains. Lottie, are you afraid of horses? Yes. Well then, no wonder that you are upset. This cheerful justification startled Lottie enough to leave her frozen mid-sniffle, mouth hanging open. Sarah nodded and continued. It is normal to be upset about things that frighten you. Only, I think it is also normal to try and make yourself less frightened if you can. You wouldn't want to be afraid forever. Horses are very large, but they can also be kind and sweet. They like apples and carrots and being petted, just like cats do. Lottie now seemed more confused than distraught. Perhaps today you should just go and meet the horses? Then you can come back and play with Tybalt. What if Lavinia won't let me? Then we shall wait until she is not looking, and while we wait, I will tell you about the horse who rescued a lost prince. She held out her hand. After a moment, Lottie took it. Whoa, her hands are still gross with cry. No, it's fine. New weekday activity is now available. Sarah can use her free time to help the younger students with their schoolwork by choosing the tutoring option. Oh, what does tutoring do? Oh, it gives knowledge and patience. You know what? We need more knowledge. We'll take a little bit of grace as well. Yeah. And I'm also saving right here. Tutoring, 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 dancing, dancing. Did we not get— oh no, we didn't get anything out of the dancing at that time. No! Okay. When Sarah came down the stairs, she found Jessie holding a most curious item. It resembled a long wooden spoon, although somewhat thicker in the shaft and with a solid round end instead of a bowl. What are you doing with that? Jessie turned the object over in her hands. Oh, Sarah, isn't it interesting? It's from India. I know. I've heard there are societies for gentlemen and ladies. Separate, of course, where they all have— hello, puppy. Where they all have wooden clubs like these and swing them to straighten their arms? Or even throw them at each other. Isn't that quaint? Are you sure that they throw them at each other? In India, the jugglers throw them up into the air and catch them again. Oh, I don't know. She looked at the solid wood shape she had, and then up at Miss Minchin's painted ceiling. Perhaps I ought not to try that. Where'd you get it from? Lavinia gave it to me. For a moment she cradled the club in her arms as if it were a doll. She wouldn't tell me anything about it, though. She told me to take it, and if I was so interested, she would say nothing more. Jessie let the length dangle down from her hand and swung it gently back and forth. Doesn't seem like such hard work. Her eyes glinted for a moment with strange emotion. Imagine the blow if you struck a man with this! Oh, Jessie's definitely lesbian. I love this. What? Why? Oh, it was a foolish thought, nothing more. I was thinking of chariots and queens. We are not soldiers, and we have no need to defend ourselves. There are brave men for that job. Like my papa. Yes. You are lucky to have such a father. Sarah smiled, pleased to accept any compliments for her beloved papa, and thought no more of it. Oh. Oh! Our next event with Mariette is week 15. And we do— oh. Oh, last chance for Ermengarde. We need 8 belief for her. So we'll save up some belief for Mariette. As Sarah walked through the front hall of Miss Minchin's seminary, she heard a strange thumping noise coming from the classroom, which should have been empty at such an hour. Has something fallen? Opening the door, she found Jessie in mid-leap, practicing dance moves in the unused space. Oh! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. That's all right. Come in and close the door. Sarah took a seat on one of the form benches. You like dancing, don't you? All young ladies dance. She pressed a palm to her chest and sighed dramatically. In the ballroom, the beautiful but impoverished daughter of faded nobility can catch the eye of a landed gentleman, and a perfect match will be made. If you have 2 left feet, then beware. You might be sent home in disgrace. Sarah laughed, swinging up her feet to demonstrate their clumsiness, even though she was privately skeptical. Not the feet again! Surely, no one would be rude enough to tell a lady to her face that she was a dreadful dancer and unworthy to be present. Well, perhaps Lavinia would. And Jessie might agree with her. She usually agrees with whatever Lavinia says. But Sarah, I was wondering, what sort of dancing do they have in India? The natives, I mean. Oh. I'm sure people like that don't have ballrooms, but there must be something. Everyone likes to dance sometimes, even servants. I don't know very much about it. My papa's friend said dances the natives do are called Nauch, and they're impolite, therefore the British are trying to make them stop. I've never seen such a dance. I'm not too sure what makes a dance impolite. Being danced by a girl is too pretty. In the opera ballet, the patrons demand pretty girls to the stage, but then they are pretty because they are pretty and performing for the eyes of men. They sometimes call them not very nice things. I suppose India is not so different after all. Yep. Fuck men. Or perhaps my papa's friends don't know the truth. My ayah said that native dances are called Kathak, and they dance in temples to tell stories about their gods. I would have liked to see a story-told dance, but my ayah said it took many years of training and she could not show me. The ballet tells stories too, but I can't imagine that Indian dance is anything like ballet. With a sigh, Jessie swept her long hair away so she could sit beside Sarah. I do love to dance, especially ballet. It would be lovely to be a ballerina on stage, admired by everyone. But no English girl could ever be a great ballerina. Everyone knows that it is the French and Italians who make the best dancers. You are half French, Sarah. Do you have any hidden dancing talents? Let me look at your feet. No. I don't think so. Maybe you don't know all of your talents yet. I'm sure I don't. I believe we all have talents and strengths that we don't know, and then we'll discover when we need them the most. That's the way that stories work. It's magic. But I don't think dancing's going to be one of my talents. You do like to tell stories. Maybe you should try telling a story and dance. Sarah thought for a while, and then walked to the center of the room and raised her arms above her head in a graceful curve, like the ballet fifth position. Once upon a time, there was a prince who was also the sun. Once again, Miss Minchin prepared to lead her students back from church to the safe confines of the seminary. However, it so happened that on this Sunday she caught sight of someone whom she had business with to conduct. Keep together now, girls. Form a line and wait here. Lavinia, dear, I'm counting on you to maintain order. I will only be a few minutes. Yes, Miss Minchin. As Miss Minchin walked away, Lavinia raised her chin with pride. She did not notice the conversations going on around her. Look, Sarah, Mama, why is that tower so high? This is where they keep the church bells. They lift them up high so that they can be heard from far away. There is a man who lives up there, the tower keeper. It's his job to watch over the bells and keep them clean and ready to ring. He lives there? He never comes down? Sarah did not know how the tower keeper spent his days, but she had heard of wise men in India who had kept vigils, and of all Christian stylites who lived atop pillars. No, never. The priests bring him food and water, so he never has to look down. He tends the bells and he thinks about God. Because he's so up high in the sky, sometimes he's very lucky. The clouds part, and he can almost catch a glimpse of the land beyond. The shining city in the fields of lilies? At this point, Lavinia noticed the two of them standing with their necks craned back. Sarah Crew, whatever are you doing? You're gawking like foreigners. Her voice almost turned into, Minchin. Sarah and Lottie lowered their heads, though not in Lottie's case without protest. We are looking up at heaven where our mamas are. They live in a city of golden streets and fields of lilies that everyone gathers. And they watch over us and they whisper us and they visit the man in the bell tower, Sarah told me. Why am I making her talk so fast? You wicked thing, making up fairy stories about heaven. There are much more splendid stories in Revelation. How do you know mine are fairy stories? You're lying. You didn't get that story from the Bible. Oh no. Read for yourself. Streets of gold and gates of pearl and many more things besides. Perhaps the lilies are my own invention, perhaps they aren't, but I can tell you, you'll never find out whether they are or not if you're not kinder to people than you are now. Ooh. What? But Sarah, perhaps feeling a little bit ashamed of her burst of unheavenly temper, turned her head and refused to respond. Ooh. Was it grace that we needed? Let's still go for a little bit of diary. Dancing, visiting, writing. I guess the disability is being a VTuber? No, I have fibromyalgia and autism. It was due to a car accident which caused my fibromyalgia, didn't ask. Okay. Sarah had been thrown out into the town buying a new book, and as she rode in the comfortable carriage back to Miss Minchin's school, her mind was filling up with stories and histories. Quite unconsciously, she descended the carriage steps with the grace of a queen, looking much grander than she might have imagined if she were the sort of girl to think in great detail about how she looked. As Sarah crossed the pavement, she caught sight of a dingy little figure down on the servants' area steps, a girl with a soot-smudged face peering up at her with wide eyes. Oh, I think this is the person that was grayed out last. Something in the eagerness and timidity of that smudgy face made Sarah look back, and when she looked, she smiled because it was her way to smile at people. The eyes went even wider, as if afraid that she ought not have been caught looking at a people of importance. The maid, if that was what she was, turned and scurried back into the kitchen, vanishing as quickly as a reverse Jack-in-the-Box. Poor little forlorn thing. I wonder who she is. Oh, okay. I can't do anything more with Ermengarde because the event expired. Okay. 9 artistry and 9 grace for Jessie. 5 belief for Lottie. We have enough belief. But we'll work on artistry and grace for Jessie until we can get to Mariette. And then Lavinia, I guess, we'll check out. Sarah knocked upon the door. Is Sarah Crew? May I come in? You may enter. Miss Minchin's model student was this day holding court in her rooms. It was a rather small court, consisting as it did of only one loyal follower, Jessie Abbott, but Lavinia's posture suggested no doubts about her right to rule. Hello, Lavinia. May I beg your pardon? Your pardon? That is not begging. Jessie tittered behind her hand. I'm sorry, I don't understand. No, it is evident that there are a great many things you do not understand. That is only to be expected, seeing as you have been raised in the savage outlands. However, here in England we observe manners. Sarah was perplexed. It was not her desire to be unmannerly, but she could not immediately perceive what breach she had been committed. You are too forward, Miss Crew. I have not invited you to use my Christian name. We have already been introduced. Knowing one's name is not sufficient reason to use it. A friend would call me Lavinia. You and I are not yet such friends. Oh, Lavi, she is very young. Children use names freely. It was clear to Sarah that Jessie intended to demonstrate her own superior rank of friendship, not merely Lavinia, but a pet name. How funny. That it should be called a pet name when it's Jessie who acts more as the pet to Lavinia. This is a school for young ladies. Even if she is young enough to be excused, she ought to practice. She will need all the polish she can get. After all, Miss Minchin has sent me to be her model. It is my responsibility to correct her mistakes. It is a silly game, these manners, but I do enjoy games. She curtsied then, if only slightly. I pray you will forgive me, Miss Herbert. I was too familiar. Lavinia waved a hand. You are forgiven, of course. Now, what did you wish to speak with me about? Miss Minchin said that your father was stationed in India. I was curious about where he lived to see whether we might have seen the same... And now Lavinia held up her hand again. I have no interest in discussing anything whatsoever to do with India. It is not a proper topic for polite conversation. Sarah frowned. From the odd look on Jessie's face, she too seemed to find this answer disappointing. Please understand, Miss Crew, we are here in London under the shield of Her Majesty the Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Empress of India. Everything that matters in the world takes place within these miles. Trade within the city, government in parliament, and society within the palace. India is a distant hinterland, filthy and rife with disease. It is a jungle out there. Oh, this bitch. Yes, there are jungles, but they are not any more filthy than London is. Nothing could be more filthy than London. A proper lady expresses India only to imagine the thrill of being made to briefly visit such a wild and terrible terrain. You should be very glad that you've escaped it. This motherfucker. Thrills are exciting. Hush. Lavinia rubbed one hand over the other as if brushing away dirt. I hope I have made myself clear. We will not be discussing India here. However, I would be very pleased to aid you in learning the ways of the English, Miss Crewe. I am certain that is what Miss Minchin had in mind when she directed you to me. That is very kind of you. Not at all. It is my duty, and every good English man or woman is keen to do his or her duty. Like my papa, the soldier. Yes, if you must. I still don't understand why she refuses to speak about India. Wasn't she born there? She must know how lovely it can be. Oh, it's probably internalized stuff. That's valid. Oh. The weather was warm and fine, the skies of London unusually clear. As such, Miss Minchin decided that the proper Sunday outing for her girls was a long walk through parks and gardens. Keep up, keep together. A lady's health is also an important accomplishment. While the temperature outside was not so great in itself, the ceaseless beating of sunlight upon little heads slowly made their Sunday dresses a difficult burden to bear. This is abominable. My complexion will be ruined. I may have to write to my father and complain. She adjusted the position of the parasol on her shoulder and sighed. No proper young lady should be forced to drudge about on foot like this. Is this not why we have horses? Miss Minchin said that horses should have a day of rest on Sundays. As if a horse would know or care what day it is. I deserve a carriage. It is the due of my rank. Lavinia was not the only girl complaining about the walk. Sarah, Mama, I'm tired. Everyone is tired. Sarah, Mama, won't you carry me? You have to walk for yourself. You're too big for me to carry for long. Besides, it would be undignified. Our Sarah may be many things, but she is not a horse. Perhaps you should ask Ermengarde. Lavinia! What I would say. I was only pointing out that she seems to be handling this walk better than Lottie is. She looked at her friend. True enough, though Ermengarde's cheeks were as flushed as anyone else's, she appeared to be walking steadily along without sulling or complaining. Aren't you tired and hot? Yes. I always feel tired and hot when we walk back from church, so I'm used to it. But this walk is so much longer. It all seems the same to me. Ermengarde has great endurance. It is a virtue. A soldier must have great endurance and be able to carry on through much more difficult circumstances than this. A soldier might have to walk miles in the sun in uniform and carry a heavy pack besides and be ready to fight when he arrived. Our lives are so much easier, but we must be good soldiers as best as we can. If Ermengarde can bear it, then I can bear it. If Jessie can bear it, then I shall have to bear it. What's that supposed to mean? What did you mean? Nothing. Wait, what did she say? Oh, okay. I don't want to bear it. I just want someone to carry me. You have legs. Use them the same as we are. I don't want to. No one is going to carry you, so if you don't walk, you'll be left here all alone. And then it'll get dark and the tigers come out to eat you up. There aren't any tigers in London. You want to make things up like that. Well, she likes it when Sarah makes things up. Sarah spoke quietly to head off the threat of Lottie deciding to cry and fuss. I'll have tea later in my room and I'll tell you all stories. But first we must return to the school, which means we must walk. Lottie sighed and carried on. Okay, I am saving right here. My voice is getting tired, so I think we shall continue this next